Welcome to Airplay Escape. Unlock the full audiobook experience and exclusive perks by joining our Patreon community. Dive deeper into the stories you love. Just click the link in the description below, and thank you for supporting this journey. Football, Rising from Ruin to Conquer the Monster Player Era. Episode 21, Li Youran vs Jun Masugi. Come on Yuranjin. However, without Li Youran noticing on the slope outside the court, the girl holding the book clutching the book that had been distorted with both hands whispered the voice was still small so Li Youran couldn't hear it. Here it comes, be careful. Li Yu then took a few steps back, and then his eyes were grim and a fine light flashed in his eyes. The body rushed out like an off-string arrow rushing towards the football in front of it. Bang! Bang! The outer instep directly kicked the football on the ground. Huge force touched the rubber surface of the football made a bang. Jun Sansuji saw the scene and felt that it was not simple. Call. The football turned into a straight line and rushed straight towards Jun Masugi, and the Musashi players standing next to them also changed their faces. They all withdrew from their feet, and they actually felt that the air flow when the ball flew over, and the power of the shot was not under their captain. Come on. Jun Masugi also rushed to think about the direction of the ball and also raised his big foot and kicked out. Bang! Whoosh! So heavy. Directly blocked the oncoming football with his foot. When he first contacted, there was a sound between the football and the calf. Jun Masugi suddenly frowned. Strength is his short board and Li Youran is just a power type shot. Originally Li Youran's strength is worse than Jun Sansuji. However, Li Youran just stood in the skill trigger position to shoot, that is he ate the bonus of a long-range shooter plus the bonus of the powerful shooter he just obtained, which is a total of 10% of the strength increase, making this power B level power shot. The power reaches A level. At the same time Li Youran tried to improve his power shot, increasing the maneuver on the ball, which also increased the shooting force a lot, surpassing the strength of Jun Masugi. It is precisely in combination with these that Li Youran proposed such a comparison. Because the system does not say what kind of action he won Jun Masugi, so let's say that the shot is also counted. As long as Jun Masugi admits to losing, it can be considered a complete task, right? This match is his only chance to win Jun Masugi. It's a good shot. It's a bit like Jito's power shot, but the ball is very sharp, the power is stronger, and the kick from outside the box has that great power. It's incredible. Is he really a second-year student? But it's not that easy to get you scored. Jun Masugi wanted to compare with Li Youran mainly to analyze his strength. Just one shot he analyzed that Li Youran's shot came from power shots, which is similar, but it's a huge difference. Bang! Although the strength exceeds that of Jun Masugi, it is still very difficult to directly break through Jun Masugi's feet, and there are no players in this world who can shoot into the goal with the ball, but at least it is impossible for Li Youran, who is lower than Jun Masugi in terms of attributes, to do it. With a bang, the football bounced out directly, and seeing this scene, Musashi's players breathed a sigh of relief, and the girl on the slope was a little disappointed when she saw this. She knows that Jun Masugi, a popular figure in the school known as the noble son on the court and also the president of the football club, has very good ball skills, and knows that he is a very powerful person, but she still has some hopes for Li Youran. Although many people are not optimistic, but she is bullish. Although I don't know football, I feel so good when I see the shot just now, but I didn't expect it, but I was still blocked back by Jun Masugi, and I just secretly cheered Li Youran in my heart to get her, and I saw that the ball did not go in, and I felt a little lost in my heart. What is he going to do? At this time, Musashi and other players also noticed and saw that Li Youran suddenly left the place and rushed in. Just now Jun Masugi blocked the football but kicked the football back and bounced into the air with the strength of Jun Sansuji. The ball just now, it is difficult to control it under the feet. The ball bounced back towards Li Youran. Li Youran also just rushed and jumped directly into the air. The body jumped at the same time, twisted the body back down, kicked the football that bounced into the air. No previous strength, but the speed was fast, directly bounced to the other side of the goal and flew. Oops! Seeing this, Jun Sansuji reacted quickly and got up to chase the ball, but just in order to catch the ball, the distance was far, plus Li Youran was too fast, so he didn't catch up. Burst. Upside down golden hook shot directly broke the goal. The football hanging net turned for a while and fell from the net. Knock a few times. The field suddenly fell into calm. The other members around as if they couldn't believe it. The captain actually lost? After Li Youran landed, he turned his head and looked at it, and he was relieved. Yes. The girl on the slope was also excited to see this scene and clenched her little hands into fists, which looked cute. You're playing tricks at this time. One of the other players watching the game outside looked at Li Youran and said he was unexpected, otherwise their captain would definitely not be able to stop it. Trickery? What I just said is whoever kicks the ball into the goal, even if he wins, doesn't say that he can't make up the shot. Are you on the football field? The opposing goalkeeper saves the ball, you won't make up the shot. Li Youran also knew that there might be such a problem, so from the beginning his words were that whoever kicked the ball in could do it, and did not say that he could only kick the ball in outside the box, nor did he say that he could not shoot twice. Therefore Li Youran did not have the slightest pressure. Mudo, what Yuran-san said is not wrong. I really didn't say it just now. You can't make up for the shot. Yuran-kun changed me next. Masugi-chan was very calm and even was not annoyed at all by the goal, nor was he angry because of Li Yuran's language bugs, but looked at Li Youran as if he was getting more and more satisfied. Good for Jun Sansuji's calmness. Li Youran is not not surprised. He himself is a humble gentleman, he has been well educated since childhood, and if he loses no matter what way. The others stopped saying anything and Jun Ichizo-sugi spoke second. What Li Youran said was also correct, he really didn't say it just now, and the two play against each other and Jun Masugi can also make up for the shot. There is nothing unfair. Soon Li Youran and Jun Sansuji exchanged places. Episode 22, The Shock of Jun Masugi. The girl on the slope looked nervous again, and if Jun Masugi scored it would be a tie at best. It's not a win. Li Youran also knows that you have to block Jun Masugi's shot to win, and if it is a tie it is not a win and the additional reward will not be obtained. While walking towards the goal I thought about how to resist Jun Masugi's shot. I don't know if he will use the spinning shot. The spinning shot is not small and it mainly relies on high-speed rotation which will change the track under the power and high-speed rotation. It is difficult to block and not eject. If the ball can't be caught and pops up if it is filled by Jun Masugi then he will definitely not be able to catch it, although he didn't say that he couldn't catch it with his hand, but if he really used his hand then he would really look down on himself. And the main thing is that the spinning shot is also different from the ordinary shot. If you want to block it the only chance is to resist it before it changes its trajectory, otherwise you will definitely lose. And if you want to resist before the trajectory changes and not let the ball pop out, there is only one way. The spinning shot distance is medium and the power will weaken after the shot outside the box is close. I can only make a dangerous move. Yuran-kun, I'm going to start. Jun Masugi did not suddenly step up and reminded very politely, come on. Jun Sansuji's body retreated and the other players also looked seriously. Jun Sansuji's eyes were cold and the elegant temperament on his body changed instantly, and Shuyang also became serious in an instant and Jun Sansuji rushed to the football while raising his feet. Seeing this scene the surrounding players were surprised. It's the captain's spinning shot. The captain is serious. Looking at the posture the others were already able to recognize it as Jun Masugi's spinning shot. I just didn't expect that the captain would use a spinning shot against a person who is not a football team. Bang! The moment Jun Masugi kicked the soccer ball instantly flew out in a lateral rotation posture with an amazing speed and at the same time burst out with an amazing power that made it feel dazzling, as if seeing a purple glare wrapped around the football. It flew towards the goal at an astonishing speed. Sure enough, it's a spinning shot. Li Yuran's expression froze, and then his body moved instantly. What is he going to do? Is he crazy? Isn't this a loser? I saw that at this time Li Youran directly dropped the goal and rushed in the direction where the football flew from. Abandoned the goal. The football kept approaching and Li Youran was also getting closer to the football, and the spinning shot would change direction before flying to the goal, so he had to block it before that. Yuran-kun, when Sansuji-chun saw this scene, he couldn't help but be slightly stunned, and he didn't expect Li Youran to rush out. Bang! Whoosh! Li Youran directly met the football, did not dodge and did not resist with his feet. Instead he directly opened his body and pounced. He couldn't use his hands, he could always use his body on the football field. Many players will use their bodies and heads to block the ball in order to defend, so that the range has become larger. The powerful ball directly hit Li Yuran's abdomen. Li Youran suddenly felt a sharp pain in his abdomen and at the same time told that the spinning football was still attached to his abdomen and kept turning and the closed mocha. Li Youran felt as if his abdomen was about to catch fire. I couldn't help but snort. My feet stepped on the grass, my body unconsciously slid backwards, and the distance of about 2 meters stopped. Li Youran used his abdomen to block the ball. His body was arched and the football attached to the body increased the mocha. The strength gradually faded and he did not eject but fell from the abdomen and fell in front of Li Youran. Seeing this scene, Jun Sansuji stood in silence. He didn't expect Li Youran to use this desperate way to block the ball, and he didn't think that the figure wearing the number 10 jersey and never admitting defeat appeared in his mind and unconsciously overlapped Li Yuran's figure with the figure of the big empty wing. He can also work hard for football, but his body does not allow him to block the ball like this, so he usually chooses his feet. But he knew that Li Youran did this in order not to let the ball pop up and give himself a second chance to attack. Now the ball is in front of him and he is still several meters away from the ball, and it is pointless to chase over and shoot. It is he who lost. Phew! Holding his stomach lightly, it really hurts, but it was worth it. He won. Even if you are ready to lose, it is always uncomfortable to lose the game. Yuranjin, you won. It's amazing. At this time, a hand appeared in front of him. Li Youran heard a calm voice, looked up at Jun Sansuji looking at himself with a smile. Li Youran also stretched out his hand when he saw this, grabbed his hand and then got up, and the two are now officially recognized as shaking hands. You're awesome too. Although he won, Li Youran did not swell and Jun Sansuji still wanted to crush him in terms of all-round ability. He just used the way of horse racing and at the same time used some of his own brain. Really compared, I will still lose. Yuranjin is so powerful. The girl standing on the slope couldn't help but secretly say when she saw this. Miss Shinshua, we should go. At this moment, there was a sound behind him and a kind old man stood behind him. Got it. Hearing the words of the old man behind her, the girl took a deep look at Li Youran in the field and then turned and left. So I take my leave first. His stomach still hurt a little, but it wasn't too serious. Li Youran didn't rush to say he wanted to join, picked up his football and said goodbye to Jun Masugi, and Jun Sansuji didn't keep it. Good, next time you have a chance, let's play football together. Good. After Li Youran finished speaking, he left directly, and the other Musashi members also walked to Juntoku Masugi's side. Is this guy really in 2nd grade? It's like a monster. Yes. After the scene just now, Li Youran was also recognized by all the Musashi football teams, and a person who can block shots with his own body deserves the respect of all of them, not to mention that he also won the captain, although a simple match will not prove anything. If he is also our teammate, we will definitely have a chance to defeat Ninja in this tryout. At this time, Minoru Hanma, the number 2 person in the team, suddenly spoke. Yes, Jun Sansuji didn't refute either, just looked in the direction where Li leisurely left. Episode 23, Katajiri Samesa. The power of that shot just now was like seeing Hinata. Sanada Shinji couldn't help but speak. He is the best scorer in the entire team except for Masugi, and he is the starter compared to Jun Masugi, who came off the bench, and as a frontcourt he has played the most head-to-head with Hinata Kojiro. His figure is taller and larger than Hinata, but in terms of strength he really lost to Hinata, and even the gap in shooting power is even greater, so he knows very well that Li Youran's shooting power just now is really amazing. Yes, it is very similar to Jito's shot, but it is much sharper than Jito's power shot. Jun Masugi really felt that power at that time. In fact, even if it was Hinata's tiger shot, he was sure that he could block it, but just now, I don't know why it felt more difficult than resisting Hinata's shot. In fact, if Li Youran knew what Jun Sansuji thought, he would understand why Jun Sansuji felt like this. Although Hinata's shooting power is strong, but Li Youran does not lose too many shots to the Tigers under the 2 passive blessings, and just felt that Li Youran shot strongly. One is because the strength itself is the short board of Sansuji, and secondly it is the problem of game time. The game just now is a 2-person solo match, and Jun Masugi's 2 strongest passives are to be regarded as a double bonus when coming off the bench naturally in the official game. When Jun Sansuji came off the bench, the ability value was much stronger than in the normal state, but it was not a regular game just now, and Jun Sansuji was not a substitute, so it was not triggered in a passive state, just a normal attribute, while Li Youran's 2 passives were triggered as long as he shot. So Li Youran has some advantages, of course. Jun Sansuji does not know this, but he sees a text trap when Li Youran just proposed the way of competition. Because Li Youran kicked first, so after he finished playing, it can be said that he couldn't make up for the shot, and when Li Youran guarded the goal he knew that he could make up the shot, so he would definitely be on guard, so he used his body to block the ball, did not let the ball pop up so that he had the opportunity to make up the shot. But Jun Masugi is not angry, on the contrary, he is very impressed and happy. He himself is also a player who is good at playing tactics and commanding on the court. The most important thing for a player is not only to shoot but also to have a ball intelligence. It is clear that Li Youran is this kind of smart player. Watching Li leisurely lead, Jun Masugi showed a heartfelt smile, although he lost, but he was not unhappy in his heart, and even a little happy because they seem to have a wonderful figure in Musashi country maybe. On the other side, Li Youran left directly, and when he walked up the slope he found that the girl before had disappeared, and he didn't have time to ask her what her name was, but I didn't think much about it. A school should still have the opportunity to meet. As for the football team, because they had to participate in the trials, everyone was very excited, and they stayed in school to train until the evening, and they were still happy as if they were tireless, and even Li Youran called as if stimulating them. Li Youran's arrival made them feel the feeling of having a sky outside the sky. Originally thought that there were already many masters in various schools, but they did not expect that the transfer students who just came today had such skills, which made them feel more pressure. So I worked hard in training, but in the evening the football team welcomed a special guest. Aoba Yayoi walked into the stadium to find Jun Masugi and said a few words to him, and when Jun Masugi looked outside the court, he saw a figure wearing a pink shirt and white suit pants. He was holding a suit jacket and had long black hair. It was already evening but still with sunglasses. Jun Sansuji looked at the figure standing outside the field and his expression changed slightly, immediately walked towards the outside of the field. The other players did not say much to continue training. Katajiri-san, why are you here? The two walked together and walked out of the court talking as they walked, and Jun Masugi seemed to know this man. Katajiri Samesa, a former member of the Island Country team, is also a player who has been named a genius since childhood, and is also a player who is considered to be able to go out of the Island Country and go to the world, but unfortunately, he is similar to Jun Masugi and Li Youran in his previous life, and after being injured he faded out of football. He was depressed for a long time, but his passion for football did not die. He accepted the invitation to join the Football Association and began to discover talented young players, hoping that they could fulfill their dreams and make up for their regrets. He was also responsible for inviting and organizing this tryout, and he has been running between schools during this time, and at the same time has also pulled a lot of sponsorship for this competition. It's hard to train so late. Are you preparing for the tryouts? After hearing this, Katajiri Zongjing did not respond immediately, but opened his mouth and asked, "Yes, I'm glad to have the opportunity to compete with Tsubasa and Hinata again." I know you'll be happy. Katajiri Samesa also knows that Jun Masugi and Okuyoshi are not only opponents in the country, but old enemies since elementary school. Actually, this time I came specifically to find you. Yes, I wonder what the purpose of Mr. Katajiri's trip is. This time, in fact, I decided after discussing with Mr. Megami and wanted to invite you to join the coaching staff of this tryout as an assistant coach. Katajiri Samesa directly explained that he did not sell his intentions. What? Why is that? It was so sudden that I was afraid I wouldn't be up to it. The sudden invitation. Jun Masugi was a little surprised. After all, he is still only a middle school student, although he is also arranging tactics at school, but he did not expect that the representative team would invite him. Don't be modest, we all know that you are very talented in this area, and have unique insights in tactics. Jun Masugi was silent after hearing this. This is the recognition of the Football Association, but this is also a disguised belief that his body is not good. Indeed, he cannot play well. Being an assistant coach is also a good choice to help the team win, and with his current physical condition, it may just drag the team down. Episode 24 Additional Rewards. If it had been before, he might have agreed, but at this time, the figure that shot with his body unconsciously appeared in his mind. He knew that with his current state, even if he participated in the trials, there might be no way to achieve any good results, but now it was different. Maybe there is hope in Musashi Kuni to win. He has the opportunity to make up for 3 years of regret and lead this team to victory, and he does not want to pass up this opportunity. Mr. Katajiri, I would like to help the team with advice, but I still hope to play as a player. After thinking for a long time, Jun Masugi finally spoke his mind. But your body. I know that I can still play as a substitute as before, even if I can't, but please let me play as a player. Jun Masugi knows his physical condition. He doesn't force playing time, but at least he has to stick with it as a player. May I know why you are so persistent? Katajiri sect was listening to Jun Masugi's words, and after being silent for a long time, he couldn't help but ask. Because of the spirit of not admitting defeat, Jun Sansuji smiled after hearing this, and then responded calmly. Alright then, I know I will convey what you mean. If you want to play as a player, you still have to perform well in the trials, but the assistant coach position will still be reserved for you. Seeing this, Katajiri sect stopped persuading, and he also appreciated Jun Masugi's idea. Thank you, Mr. Katajiri. You're welcome. Looking at the way you look, it seems that something has changed your mind. Can you tell me what it is? If it goes well, Mr. Katajiri will know after the tryouts begin. Alright then, leave a surprise. I will leave first. The tryouts are still 2 months away. Don't be too reluctant. Katajiri-sama didn't ask much, glanced at the time and then glanced at the players who were still training and gave a proper reminder. Yes, I understand. Li family. Phew. After returning home and eating dinner, Li Tiannan has not yet returned home. After eating, Li leisurely returned to his room, sat directly on the ground, and a glass bottle suddenly appeared in his hand, which was the additional reward obtained after winning the competition with Jun Sansuji today. Like the previous reward, it is an intermediate booster. Li Youran is still quite satisfied so that his physical condition can be upgraded to another state again. If this thing has existed before, Li Youran has tried to compete me head-on with Jun Sansuji Chen and does not need to be clever. Come on. After drinking the enhancer, I immediately felt that my body was hot, but I was prepared and I quickly adapted and gradually felt that the strength of my body seemed to be getting stronger and stronger. After the heat disappeared, Li got up leisurely, walked towards the bathroom with a change of clothes and took a refreshing shower. While wiping his hair with a towel, he walked out and sat on the bed while closing his eyes. Name, Li Youran. Age, 14. Good foot, right reverse foot, D grade. Location, ST. Dribble, 28. Shot, 46. Physical fitness, 47. Speed, 38. Technology, 25. Offense, 31. Power, 43. Defense, 26. Passing, 22. Steals, 15. Team cooperation, 0. Skills, white cycling, dribbling, blue power shot, blue upside down golden hook, blue acceleration, dribbling, blue long range shooter. Passive, blue power shooter, passive. At a glance, his current attributes have greatly improved his ability, and according to his current strength with passivity, it will be much more difficult for Jun Sansuji to block his shots. According to the current attributes, the entire Musashi football team except for Sansuji, no one is stronger than himself. Defending the ball and passing is slightly worse, but like Jun Masugi, the strongest Minoru Hanma and Sanada Shinji are not as strong as their own attributes. Such an attribute is enough to amaze everyone in Musashi country, but in comparison, his skills are not as gorgeous as Jun Masugi. But don't worry, you still have time to continue to hone. Sooner or later, you will surpass Jun Masugi, surpass any player in the world, and everything will start from Musashi country. After resting for a while, I lay down on the bed and slept beautifully. Got up early the next morning according to the custom, practiced by myself for an hour on my own court, then ate and changed my school uniform to prepare for school. To be honest, going to school now for Li Youran wasted a lot of time to practice, but he still has to go to school. After all, he must join the Musashi football team. Football is not a one-man sport. A person can never win the offensive end himself is at the top of the list at this age. But the defense is still a little worse and there is no team cooperation yet. There are only 2 months left before the tryouts, and if you don't practice team cooperation, you will really be praised by then. Not to mention catching up with Jun Masugi. Being able to practice to about 2 to 3 is barely enough at this stage. Soon came to the school by car. Entered the school. Just entered the school, I saw many people's eyes were cast. It seems to be looking at themselves. Li Youran is a little strange, although he looks okay but not so popular, right? Is he? Yes, that's him. I heard that he won over Senior Sansuji yesterday. That's awesome. He is also so handsome. I feel that I am fascinated by Yuranjin. Hey, don't you like Senior Sansuji? It turned out that yesterday's contest between Li Youran and Jun Masugi was seen by many classmates because the Musashi football team itself is more popular in school, especially most girls, although mainly for Jun Masugi. After all, girls' feelings about football players are still almost meaningful. Episode 25, Stormy Figures. But yesterday after school, the scene of the competition between the two was still seen by many people and soon spread in the school. The two people are already equivalent in technology in the eyes of others and their appearance is the same high, and suddenly Li Youran came to school the next day and directly became a stormy figure. After all, it is stepping on the shoulders of Jun Sansuji, and it is difficult not to be angry because in the school even if you don't like football you know Jun Sansuji, and you also know that he is a genius and now there is a person comparable to him including Li Youran is a second-grade transfer student. You say who is the most powerful Yuranjin and senior Sansuji? Didn't you say that Yuranjin won? A game doesn't tell you what's good or bad, but Yuranjun is only in the second grade. Even if he is not as good as senior Sansuji now, he may be able to win over him in the future. That's what I said. Li Youran came to the corridor of his grade and found that the discussion was louder and he knew what was going on, but some classmates discussed and discussed but they were still more reserved and did not come forward to ask like chasing stars. It wasn't until I came to my class that some students came up one after another to ask. Li Youran really won Masugi-chun? Li Youran just simply responded he knew that he won by luck and did not swell, just said that Masugi-jun was because he was a transfer student so he didn't give his full strength. In fact, Masugi-jun did not give his full strength. Masugi-jun's full strength was on the court. Seeing that Li Youran was unwilling to say too much, the students could only stop asking more. Li Youran was slightly relieved when he saw this and finally had time to sit down. But I found that there were still many girls secretly glancing at their side, especially some girls in other classes outside the classroom, who were also watching carefully from the outside window. As soon as Li Youran put the school bag into the desk, he felt as if he had touched something and quickly pulled out the bag and saw several letters scattered from the desk, envelopes of various colors, most of which were pink. Li Youran was speechless for a while. Immediately when I saw the shy looks of the female students around me when the letter fell out, I knew what was going on. A little helpless, and the current middle school students are too precocious, right? Li Youran was helpless, but the male classmates around him looked envious and jealous, but I can only hate that my appearance is not enough and my skills are not as good as Li Youran. Li Youran picked up a few letters and folded them together but did not look at them, just put them next to the desk drawer, then put his bag in and then supported his chin with one hand and looked out the window. Being in the Li family, I have received a good upbringing since childhood, although I don't mean that, but anyway, it's a girl, it's too rude to throw it away and tear it up directly. If it is given to yourself in person, you will meander and refuse not to accept it, but you can't help it if you have already put it here. So Li Youran put it away for the time being, and it would be better to throw it away when they were not there at a time. Seeing that Li Youran didn't mean to look at it, these female students were still a little lost, but some still didn't give up and wanted to find another opportunity. It didn't take long to start class. The teacher began to lecture. Li Youran was not in the mood to listen or still looked out the window. The teacher in the process also found that Li Youran was in a trance, tried to let Li Youran answer questions or solve problems, although not in the class attentively, but Li Youran can still easily cope with the answer. The teachers who wanted to remind him to take classes seriously by asking questions couldn't help it and secretly said in their hearts that they were worthy of being high-achieving students in aristocratic schools, and the teachers had almost heard about the football team after school yesterday. The mind is so good and the motor cells are so good. What a genius. In any case, as long as the grades did not drop, the teachers would not care much, and Li Youran finally stayed up until the end of the morning class, and it was time for the lunch break. Education in the island country is still possible, at least some aspects are definitely liked by Yan Guo students, that is in the island country. The teacher will not delay the class. As soon as the bell rings, the class will be finished immediately regardless of whether it will delay the next class. Look, isn't that Senior Masugi? Really, how handsome. Why did Senior Sansuji come to the outer grade? You must have come to find Yuran-san, right? The teacher just left. Li Youran was still looking out the window, did not leave the classroom, suddenly heard a voice in his ears, unconsciously turned his head to look and found that at this time outside the window outside the classroom a figure stood outside. Not Masugi-jun. And who is it? The two looked at each other. Masugi-chan did not speak, just looked at himself with a smile, but it was obvious that he was looking for himself. Li Youran didn't say much, stood up from his position and then walked towards the outside of the classroom. The meeting of the two school figures can't help but make many people pay attention. Yuran-san, I'm sorry to interrupt me suddenly. Seeing Li Youran walking out, the two walked towards the corridor and Jun Sansuji spoke. It's nothing. Senior Sansuji is looking for me. Is there something wrong? Actually, there is one thing I want to ask the opinion of Yuran classmates. Jun Masugi did not sell the gate but went straight to the point. Senior Sansuji, please say. That's right, Yuran also likes to play football. You should know that the global trials will be held in 2 months, right? No, finally came. Li Youran secretly said in his heart. He was waiting for Jun Masugi to come to him. We in Musashi Junior High School were also invited to participate in this tryout, but because of my physical condition, I can't play the whole game and the overall strength of the team will drop a lot. I'm afraid it will be difficult to achieve good results in this conference, so I want to invite Yuran to join the soccer team. Jun Sansuji directly explained his intentions, and some of the surrounding students were also surprised when they heard it. The captain of the football team, the school's figure Jun Sansuji, personally came to invite Li Youran, who had just transferred over. But it is not surprising to think about it. After all, now the whole school knows that Li Youran won in yesterday's competition. The senior believes in me so much, can I increase the odds of winning for the team? Although he was going to enter the team, Li Youran did not have the slightest doubt about Jun Masugi's so calm invitation, and he was a little surprised to come to invite him a day later. In yesterday's competition, I have already determined this, and I believe that as long as Youran students can join, we can set the goal of winning this time in the trials. Jun Masugi said firmly after hearing this, seems to believe in his own vision. Li Youran looked at this confidence and was a little stunned. Episode 26. I'm only good at attacking, and I used to practice alone, and I wasn't good at teamwork. Li Youran was silent for a while and then said truthfully, this can be regarded as vaccination in advance, and I am not good at it. It's okay. In the past, our team was mainly defensive tactics, although I also studied offensive tactics, but other players are not very good at implementation. I think you will change this situation after you come. Jun Masugi didn't care. After all, the all-round players were a minority, and he felt that Li Youran's situation was also temporary. A person with that kind of football IQ, his talent was by no means limited to this. In the past, the main tactic of Musashi's team was mainly to defend and actually maintain defensive tactics, trying to ensure that he did not lose points or lost fewer points before he appeared. In terms of attack, it is difficult to organize when he is not there, and Minoru Hanma and Nobuji Sanada lack the key ability to decide victory or defeat. Li Youran's shooting power can fully explain Li Youran's offensive ability. If Li Youran is in the front court, the lineup will change. Others can defend more hard, and Li Youran's offensive ability will inevitably become a headache for opponents. Once you separate people to defend Li Youran, it will not be so easy to break through their Musashi defense. He believes that even if Li Youran can't decide the victory or defeat in the previous time after he plays, there will be a good chemical reaction with Li Youran. His skillful passing skills will definitely allow Li Youran's super offensive ability to be brought into play. This is Jun Masugi's initial idea, and it will not be really determined until he becomes a teammate. I know that it may not be fair to you to join the team to participate in the tryouts because the selection is for the members of the representative team. You are from Yan Guo, and you may not be able to join no matter how good you are, but we really need your power right now. Jun Masugi said sincerely. In fact, he cannot say it because ordinary people will not think about this layer, but he chose to say it because he wanted Li Youran to think about it himself and did not want to face this problem after the trials, and he did not want to lose Li Youran's friend. I know I'm willing to represent Musashi Kokujungari. As for the things after the tryouts, Li Youran himself is willing to join. After all, the mission is also like this. Jun Masugi can tell himself about this matter so calmly, he has nothing to worry about. As for the things after the tryouts, let's see what the tasks of the system say after that. Great, thank you. Leisurely welcome to join the team. Please take care of you in the future. Please take care. Captain Li Youran also said sincerely. The two reached out and held hands at the same time. Jun Masugi was very happy in his heart because of Li Youran's arrival, because of Li Youran's dedication to winning and losing and his strength, so that Jun Masugi finally decided to play as a player when facing Katajiri Samesa. Because he believes Li Youran was the key to winning the Musashi tryout tournament this time, and he must try it when he had the opportunity, and it was absolutely impossible to give up just like that. Soon the whole news spread about Jun Masugi personally came to the second grade and invited Li Youran to join. The whole school knew many people were very interested, and many girls all agreed to go to the football team practice after school, by the way, to see this new member. After inviting Li Youran to join, Jun Masugi invited Li Youran to lunch together on the court. He is the noble son who commands rooting off the court. He is a captain who cares about his teammates, and off the court he is also a humble gentleman who treats people and kindness, quite a perfect persona. It's a pity that his heart is destined to his limit, although in the comics he is still playing football and has not left football, but he cannot leave the island country with his talent. There is actually no problem at all in getting on the world stage. However, the world stage is too harsh. No one will release water on you because you have a heart attack on the world stage. It is about strength. After separating from Sanshan, Li Youran was thinking that when he was just discharged from the hospital his head had not fully recovered, but he was immediately better after drinking body enhancers. But his heart disease was much more serious than his condition at that time, and he didn't know if the body enhancers had any effect. Body enhancers mainly strengthen physical fitness. Jun Masugi's physical fitness is a short board. It is obvious that it is because of heart disease. If the body enhancer is not cured, I don't know if it can increase his playing time. So Li Youran also thought if he gets the fortifier next time, when he doesn't need it much, should he leave a bottle for Sanshan to try? Even if it can't be cured, it's good to add some playing time so that you don't eat it often. After all, football is not a one-man thing. After finishing the afternoon class and leaving the classroom, he found that Jun Sansuji was already standing outside the corridor, obviously waiting for himself, and Li Youran walked directly forward. Today is your first day to join the team. Let me take you to understand the situation in the team. Jun Masugi is a person who is very good at taking care of the players, and although Li Youran's skills are excellent in his opinion, he is still a newcomer in the team. At least take him to familiarize himself with the players. Alright, I would love to, Li Youran responded, and the two walked side by side towards the football club. Many people on the road cast curious eyes, obviously very curious about the new member of the football team. Although Masugi is friendly to everyone, but in the past all members basically went to the football club to sign up, but this time he led the way himself. When the two arrived at the football field, they found that there were already many people on the slope, and the grass on the slope was also full of many people. Most of them were girls. Girls generally came to see Sansuji, but today there are also many curious about what the newcomer who defeated Sansuji is like. There are not so few boys. After all, boys who like football have joined the football club, and those who don't like it will not come to see it for no reason. No boy likes to watch a large group of girls cheering for other boys, so there are not too many boys. Episode 27. Jun Masugi first took Li Youran into the football club and gathered all the members. At this time, all the members of the Musashi Junior High School football team gathered in the dressing room, and Jun Masugi seemed to be in a good mood. Before starting practice today, I have one thing to announce, Li Youran. I believe everyone knows each other from today onwards. He will officially join our team, become one of our members, and will also participate in the tryouts with us, Jun Masugi announced in public. Hearing Jun Masugi's words, everyone in the team looked at each other for a while. In fact, they had heard the news this earlier, but now they saw the captain's announcement to be able to confirm. In fact, after Li Youran and Masugi-chen yesterday, they had someone to suggest that Li Youran could be invited to join the team. Youran, let's say hello to everyone. Hello everyone, please take care of your teammates in the future. Li Youran did not put up a shelf. As long as he joined the same team, he was a teammate. No matter how strong or weak your teammates are, they all run on the pitch just like you. Even if they are weak, you need them, and you can't play football alone. Great, Yuranjin joined our team. In this way we have a better chance of winning. That's right, in this way we will definitely have a chance to win this time. With the captain's skills and the shooting of Yuranjun, we will definitely be able to do it. Welcome to Yuranjin. Li Youran did not expect that his joining seemed to have increased the morale of the team. In the previous life, even if a star-level player joined the team, other players may not have such a reaction, but now the enthusiasm of the players makes him feel like the stars are holding the moon. Li Youran didn't understand why. Probably Musashi was disappointed too much. In fact, Li Youran himself did not know he had conquered them in yesterday's contest, and naturally there was no slightest rejection of Li Youran's joining. In the end, at this age, it is just a group of big children who simply like football. Unlike in the previous life, you cannot escape the connection with money when you play in any club. The only goal of the players is to put forward the value, and the players are not necessarily harmonious. But in this world, a player who is stronger than them will naturally be recognized by them, especially in their opinion. Li Youran's arrival will greatly reduce the pressure on their captain, and there will be no situation like the national competition. Then Youran needs to choose a jersey. At this time, Yayoi Aoba, who is the manager of the team, also stepped forward. Of course, to join the team is to have a uniform. The uniform is not all prepared at once, but to be customized. After all, no one knows joined the body of the new member of the team. Before customizing, you need to choose a number. There are already more than a dozen numbers in the team. The main selection plus the substitute. Aoba Yayoi handed over the remaining number form. Li leisurely glanced at it, not particularly concerned. For the shirt number, he has no special attachment, although each number has his meaning, such as the number 10, but it is the most famous number on the football field. It may not be the captain, but people who do not have some strength dare not wear it. But in the past life world, in fact, the number is not so important. The so-called number achievement is also created by the player. As long as you play well enough, people will remember this number. So for the current Li Youran, even if it is an unknown number, he is just as competent to kick the value. That's it. Li Youran ticked one of the numbers he didn't like. Two big numbers. Glanced within the 10th number, found that there were 3 more, and ticked one of them. Number 3? I understand. Leisurely classmate, report your body data to me. Will contact the customization immediately. Tomorrow can be delivered. After glancing at the number chosen by Li Youran, Aoba Yayoi spoke again. She is a very careful and gentle girl, and she is very compatible with Masugi. Okay. Because he had already measured the clothes and jerseys when he asked Lu Bo to help him customize his clothes and jerseys. Before, Li Youran remembered the figure data and reported his data to Aoba Yayoi, who carefully recorded it and then confirmed it with Li Youran again. She is also very happy about the addition of new members. One is that every new member will welcome her, and the other point is that she was also present yesterday. She knows that Li Youran's strength is very strong, and if he is there, she can share a lot of pressure for Jun Masugi. The logistical aspects were no problem, and then Jun Masugi also introduced the others. There are a total of 18 members in the entire Musashi country, 11 starters and 7 substitutes, a total of 16 players and 2 goalkeepers. There are 4 men in the forward line, namely central midfielder Nobuji Sanada, right winger Minoru Hanma, left winger Ichinos Aki, and substitute Hideya Ida. There are more members on the center line with a total of 7 people, starting up front Koji Nishiyama, back Shinichi Suzuki, left center Pete Kensaku Yoshida, right winger Yasuhiko Ryuzawa. There are also Jun Masugi, Takichi Inoue, and Masaru Moriguchi, who appear as substitutes in the center line and can be qualified in any position. There are 5 members on the guard line, starting left back Ryuichi Sano, central defender Kaihiro Muka, right back Osamu Kido, and substitutes Akito Takeuchi and Toshi Inoue. The rest are starting goalkeeper Min Moriyama and substitute goalkeeper Daisuke Seiki. That's all the members of the Musashi Football Club, and it's clear that in Musashi country there is the scarcity of strikers now after Li Youran joined. It can be regarded as a little stronger. Li Youran also took a closer look in terms of attributes. The 3 strikers who started had the highest attributes, and the attributes of the members on the center line were very general. Most of the attributes were only between 1 to 2, and the most powerful in the center line was Jun Masugi. Defenders Kamakai and Sano are not bad attributes. The 2 defensively 22 and 25 respectively. Mukai has the strongest body of the entire team, then came goalkeeper Moriyama, whose attributes were no lower than those of the 3 strikers. But even so, goalkeepers like Moriyama are still not ranked in front of those bug-level goalkeepers, and the 3 forwards are the same compared to the top forwards. At least, it can be said that in the entire Musashi country except for Jun Masugi, no one meets the conditions for entering the national team. On the forward line, the main person responsible for the attack is Sanada. Shinji Ichinos is mainly responsible for supporting the good running. Hanma has a good pass, and the shot is actually not lost to Sanada Shinji, but he is more supportive, so he takes the initiative to be on the wing. Episode 28. The formation used by Musashi's team is the 343 formation: 3 forwards, 4 centers, 3 defenders and goalkeepers. This formation is the formation used by the legendary star Cruyff. After becoming the head coach of Barcelona, he used the 343 formation to start a revolution, but also created a new football term, number 4. This formation was mainly used to deal with the 442 lineup at that time, to deal with the opposing 2 forwards, to add a player in the midfield. 2 forwards to break through the midfield will become very difficult. Even if they are broken through the midfield, there are 3 defenders in the backfield is enough to cope, and in comparison, the opponent's 442 lineup, 4 players each in the midfield and the backfield, the 343 lineup, because there are 3 forwards in the front court compared to the 442 lineup, 1 more offensive player will be more aggressive. Of course the formations change with tactics, but in junior high school level matches there are basically relatively few teams with multiple formations, and it is not easy to adapt to a set of lineups, especially for middle school students. Musashi also made it possible to use this lineup flexibly thanks to Masugi. After introducing each other, Li Youran also changed into training clothes. He also came to school with his own jersey, although the temporarily customized team uniform has not yet come, but it does not affect training. Today we will have an inter-team training match. Everyone changed into training and came to the field, and when they saw the football team appear, there were many voices around. Many girls were shouting Jun Masugi's name and many were whispering in Li Youran's direction. Everyone was doing a warm-up exercise, and Jun Masugi clapped his hands and said to all the members, generally speaking, internal training matches are held at a specified time, generally 4 times a month, and are generally held on weekends because there is more time on weekends and the team members will gather for training. However, everyone is not surprised. It is clear that this internal training match is for Li Youran because he has just entered the team, plus there are so many people today. The main thing is that Li Youran has just joined the team, although when he competed yesterday, he already knew that Li Youran was very strong. But after all, football is to play on the field to see the real strength. Li Youran did not think much, although his team cooperation is 0, but he still retains some experience in his previous life. Li Youran believes that as long as it is normal play it should not be a problem. So I'll explain the grouping now. Jun Masugi divided the combination of confrontation matches in the team, and after Li Youran joined there are now a total of 19 members. While Jun Masugi does not participate in this confrontation match, he is a tactical player. As a captain, there is no coach in Musashi country, so he serves as a coach. Without participating in the game, he can better observe Li Youran's performance on the field so that he can better determine his position in the team and how to use his maximum strength. Jun Masugi did not participate. There were 9 people on one side, although it was not very formal, but there were enough internal training matches, and soon Jun Masugi gave the list of the 2 teams divided into red teams and blue teams. The red team is led by Minoru Hamano, Boji Sanada and Akira Ichinos, and the 3 starting strikers are Koji Nishiyama, Shinichi Suzuki and Kendo Yoshida. On the guard line, Ryuichi Sano and Kaihiro Weisheng. There is also goalkeeper Mion Moriyama. The 9 men are made up entirely of starters. On the other side, the blue team, the forward line consists of Li Youran, Hideya Ida and starting right winger Yasuhiko Ryuzawa as a guest blue team forward. The other 3 centers are substitutes Takichi Inoue and Masaru Moriguchi, as well as starting guard Osamu Kido, who came to make a cameo appearance in the blue team midfield, and substitutes Akito Takeuchi and Toshi Inoue on the back line, and substitute goalkeeper Daisuke Seiki. The composition of the 2 teams from the paper example, the red team has an absolute advantage because they all start, while the blue team, except for Yasuhiko Ryuzawa and Osamu Ekitoji, are all substitutes, and Yasuhiko Ryuzawa is still in the left winger position that he is not good at. The purpose of Jun Sansuji's arrangement is only one: it is natural to test Li Youran's full strength. In the case of a weak team, he can see the true level of a person, whether he is a real master or parallel goods, as long as he can determine in one game. Both teams changed into different colors of training uniforms and soon arrived on the field, both using a 332 lineup with a bias towards attack. This is also Jun Masugi's deliberate arrangement, and the three starting strikers opposite are the most powerful players besides him, which will put more pressure on the blue team. Li was naturally placed in the position of ST mid-striker with Hideya Ida on the right and Yasuhiko Ryuzawa on the left. Before the start of the game, members from both sides gathered together to briefly discuss tactics. Let's start training and race. I don't know which side will win. Yuranjin is so handsome. Senior Masugi doesn't play, he should win. Not necessarily, although Senior Masugi is not on it, but Senior Hanma is also very powerful. The red team is all starters, most of the blue team is a substitute. It should be the red team will win. Before the game started, many people outside had already begun to discuss which side could win, and there were those who were optimistic about Li Youran's blue team. After all, Jun Masugi had also led the substitute team to win the starting team before, but there are also people who generally feel that the red team is stronger. After all, they are all starters. Although I heard that Li Youran won Masugi Jun, after all, it is not an official competition, and 1 or 2 wins and losses do not mean anything. The starting team against the substitutes? Yuran Kuan. No one noticed that at this time in the crowd a cute girl was quietly standing in a remote corner looking at the inside of the stadium, and her eyes fell on Li Youran's body. In his heart he secretly cheered Li Youran. Yuranjin had a kick in a while. If you need our cooperation, although say we will definitely cooperate fully. The blue team gathered together, and Yasuhiko Longza, as the starter of the only 2 blue teams, also said seriously. Change to the usual one side of all starters while all substitutes. They must think that they have lost, but this time is different. After yesterday, they still have confidence in Li Youran, and Li Youran's strength has indeed convinced them, subconsciously taking Li Youran as the backbone. Episode 29. Just use the simplest offensive tactics. If you get the ball, just go all out and pass to the opponent's backfield. Li Youran thought for a while and then spoke to his players. Li Youran has learned some tactics in his previous life, but here presumably even if he is a coach-level tactic he can't use it flexibly for a while, so use the simplest tactics according to the middle-level goalkeeper of Musashi Country, as long as the ball can reach his feet outside the opposite penalty area. I am sure to shoot the ball, and in terms of speed, I am also the fastest in this team except for Jun Masugi, and in the entire team except for Jun Masugi, the fastest speed is Minoru Hanma with a speed of 28, but there is a big gap with himself. However, he also has the passivity of sideline dribbling, which should be able to increase the attribute gap of 02-03, but even the gap of 07-08 is large enough, so as long as you plug yourself forward no one can catch up with you. Is that okay? If you can't catch up, the ball will be snatched by the opponent. Don't worry, trust me, Li Youran said confidently after hearing the sound. Alright, then we'll listen to Yuranjin. Seeing Li Youran's confident look, Longze Anyan also responded. Others nodded as well. Beep. Okay, both sides in place. Jun Masugi bit the whistle, blew the whistle and motioned for all members to take their places. The members of the 2 pairs all dispersed and Li Youran stood in the middle of the field because Li Youran's team was weaker, so the opening ball was given to the blue team. Training matches are not like regular competitions. Only 60 minutes were customized with 30 minutes each for the first and second halves. Jun Sansuji explained the rules to everyone and everyone else already understood it well. Li Youran came for the first time, but the rules were very simple, so Li Youran also understood. Midfield kickoff facing the opposite Musashi. Starting 3 forwards, Li leisurely stood in the middle line. The center midfield Moriguchi Masaru came to the center line to cooperate with the kickoff. Junya Masugi raised his hand while putting the whistle in his mouth. Bite. Select task to start. Option 1. Make your debut in the Musashi squadron. Do your best to show your full strength and complete a hat-trick in this competition. Reward. Blue skill upgrade card. Option 2. Musashi squadron debut. Conquer everyone with technique and complete 2 assists. Reward. Blue skill power pass. Reward 3. Musashi Kuni made his debut in the squadron showing his all-round ability, completing 1 shot and 1 assist. Reward. Plus 5 technical attribute points. Just before the game was about to start, a voice suddenly sounded in his head. Li Youran paused slightly and another task appeared. At a simple glance, each mission is different. 3 tasks, still 3 routes. Obviously the last task is relatively simple. Enter 1 yourself and then find a way to assist 1. The second task completed 2 assists. To be honest, Li Youran had no bottom in his heart and did not mean to look down on people, but in the current situation among the players on his side the shooting was not too powerful. One was a substitute striker, the other was a midfield guest striker, and the shots were not too powerful. 1 is okay if you really assist, 2 really have no confidence. The first task seems to be the most difficult, but for yourself it is also the simplest because your best is shooting and attacking. The most important thing is that this skill upgrade card makes Li Youran very interested. I choose the first task. Select finish. Please complete the mission before the end of the game. The game begins. Beep. Jun Masugi also sounded the whistle of the game. The competition officially begins. Masaru Moriguchi kicked the ball at his feet to Li Youran. Li Youran directly rushed to the front with the ball and was greeted by the red team mid-striker Shinji Sanada. Li Youran rushed forward with the ball. Minoru Hanma and Ichinos also outflanked from both sides. Li Youran held the ball at his feet and controlled it freely. Don't try to pass easily. Sanada Shinji rushed up head-on. He was very powerful but the speed was average. Li Youran stepped on the ball, dribbled sideways towards Sanada Shinji. The speed started in an instant. Sanada Shinji obviously did not expect that Li Youran's speed was so fast, seeing that Li Youran had passed through his side. It's not so easy to think about the past. Sanada Shinji also quickly turned around, clinging to Li Youran's body, wanting to squeeze with his own body to delay Li Youran's movements. But when he saw that Li Youran moved to Sanada Shinji's side when the two bodies were about to touch, Li Youran's turning and twisting action was originally difficult to exert force, but that's it accelerated for the second time under Sanada Shinji's surprised gaze. This is the acceleration dribbling. Although it is not a particularly superb dribble, but it can perform a second acceleration when dodging the opponent. Although the speed of increase is not very fast, but in the case that the opponent is also defending sideways, the coordination is not enough. It is difficult to keep up with the speed of this instant outbreak. So fast, Sanada Shinji was shocked in his heart. Successfully breaking through Sanada Shinji, Li Youran continued to dribble the ball towards the front but dribbled past Sanada Shinji, but also wasted some time. Minoru Hanma has used his speed to catch up. Yuranjin, be careful behind. If Li Youran was not blocked by Sanada Shinji, Hanma was really behind him. Even if he carried the ball, Li Youran would be sure to throw him off, but there would be consumption after dribbling. Although the acceleration dribbling speed is not fast, there will be some slowdown after the end of the second acceleration, and with the speed of Hanma this short time can still catch up. Hideya Ida quickly shouted when he saw this scene, worried that Li Youran would be cut off in the back. Li Youran did not look back, but out of the corner of his eye he had skimmed Minoru Hanma to catch up. Longzhe, when Hanma rushed up and wanted to press Li Youran from the side with his body, Li Youran moved his feet and directly kicked the ball to the left. Li Youran's pass is not very good, but a simple short pass is no problem. Longzhe Yasuhiko is the starter. The consciousness is still there when he saw Minoru Hanma catching up with Li Youran. He had just come over to receive it. Pulled in the distance, Li Youran easily passed the ball to his feet and then ran forward himself. Episode 30. When Yasuhiko Ryuzawa received the ball, the opposite Ichinos immediately pressed up and the two froze. Ryuzawa Yasuhiko made a dribbling action and wanted to break through Ichinos, but in terms of attributes Ichinos had an overwhelming advantage and it was not so easy for Ryuzawa Yasuhiko to break through Ichinos alone. At this time, he also thought of Li Youran's words before the start of the game. He said that he only needed to pass the ball towards the opponent's backfield. Thinking of this, he was preparing to act, but Ichinos, who reacted better, reacted immediately. There is a flaw. Ichino seized the opportunity and rushed forward. His body was attached to Yasuhiko Ryuzawa. The two changed under their feet, fiercely scrambling, and finally Seiki was superior and snatched the ball away from under Ryuzawa Yasuhiko's feet. Ryuzawa Yasuhiko gritted his teeth and wanted to snatch the ball back, but Ichinos did not stick to the ball. Sanada. A direct Bigfoot cross passed the ball to Nobuji Sanada, who had already arrived in front of the blue team, and Minoru Hanma immediately followed, and the two cooperated to approach the blue team's midfield. Seeing this scene, many of Li Youran's supporters pinched a cold sweat for the blue team. On the midfield side, Takechi Inoue and Masaru Moriguchi hurriedly pressed up. Sanada Shinji relied on his own strength to forcibly squeeze away Inoue Takechi, and then was stopped by Masaru Moriguchi, but still controlled the ball at his feet, and Moriguchi Katsu was difficult to grab for a while Yasuhiko Ryuzawa and Hideya Ida on the blue team's side also returned to pursuit. Sanada Shinji knew that he could not stay for long, otherwise Yasuhiko Ryuzawa would have trouble if he and Hideya Ida returned and passed the ball directly to Minoru Hanma, who was stopped by Osamu Kido, the starting guard who played as a guest in the midfield and was very good at defending as a defender, but Hanma seems to have been prepared. As soon as he received the ball, before he stopped, he kicked the ball directly and the ball passed through the midfield where Sanada Shinji was and went to the other side. It was a position without people, but at this time Ichinos had rushed over, just caught Minoru Hanma's ball. Pass the good Hanma. Tacit cooperation broke through the blue team midfield. There were only two substitute defenders left in the backfield. Minoru Hanma and Sanada Shinji quickly got rid of the defenders and went towards the blue team backcourt. The blue team backcourt too had to separate one to grab the football, but Ichinos is very smart and now I have the advantage of 3-2. After controlling the ball, he passed it to the midfield and Nobuji Sanada stopped the ball with his chest and brought the ball down. Seeing this, Toshi Inoue knew that there was still Minoru Hanma, but there was no way, so he could only rush towards Sanada Shinji, who would catch the ball and fall to his feet. Watching Nobu Toshiya rush up and pass the ball directly to Hanma. Minoru Hanma rushed into the penalty area. Goalkeeper Daisuke Seiki could only attack and rush towards Minoru Hanma. When he saw this, Minoru Hanma saw a smile on the corner of his mouth, then suddenly turned around, kicked the ball directly to the rear, and the rear Sanada Shinji got rid of Toshi Inoue and came directly towards the front. We won the first point as Sanada Shinji ran over, watching the football approaching. When he was close to 2 or 3 paces away, he lifted his big foot and looked at the empty goal in front of him just as he was about to shoot. Boom. Suddenly felt that the body trembled slightly. A force struck everyone, only found at this time that Li Youran, who was still in the opponent's midfield before, had returned to his own backfield, and everyone's eyes were on football, forgetting Li Youran's existence for a while. What? Minoru Hama Ichinos and Sanada Shinji all showed surprised looks from halftime to the box. In less than a minute, he returned from their midfield to the back, and the most surprising was Nobuji Sanada, who was the strongest in the team. But at this moment, Li leisurely squeezed up and he felt that his body suddenly lost its balance, although he didn't fall down because Li Youran didn't dare to move too much. But Sanada Shinji himself planned to shoot and his strength was used in shooting actions. Naturally he couldn't squeeze Li Youran. Sanada Shinji's power lost to Li Youran by 0.3. The gap was not big, but in the case that the power was to be used to shoot, it was easily squeezed by Li Youran. Li Youran smoothly snatched the ball, directly kicked out of the backcourt, and the ball flew high to the front court of the red team. Hideya Ida, who was located in the front court of the blue team, rushed directly into the front court of the red team, fought for the first point, controlled the ball, and then ran towards the front. Li Youran ignored the still surprised Sanada Shinji and directly turned around and counterattacked. Abominable. Sanada Shinji reacted. Li Youran had run out 20 meters. Sanada Shinji saw this and hurriedly followed. Minoru Hanma and Ichinos also hurriedly followed this time because the three forwards of the red team all went to the back of the blue team and the position of the midfield was also pulled to their own front position. That is to say, this defense there will be 3 fewer people. Hideya Ida with the ball. The midfielder of the red team immediately outflanked. Hideya Ida did not dare to stick the ball directly past the ball, and Yasuhiko Ryuzawa responded in time past the midfielder Shinichi Suzuki, who came to defend in front of him, continued to push towards the opponent's backfield. Kendo Yoshida, the front waist of the red team, also caught up from behind, wanting to break Yasuhiko Ryuzawa's ball, but saw that at this time Yasuhiko Ryuzawa's eyes had been staring at the center of the field, and only at this time did the spectators find that Li Youran had run from his own backcourt to the midfield of the red team and was still advancing at full speed. It's up to you, Yuran-kun. Longze Yasuhiko thought about Li Youran's words. He didn't dare to be distracted at this time. He was just distracted and almost lost the ball this time. No longer hesitated. Big feet towards the opponent's backfield. What is this for? Seeing this scene, everyone was puzzled because the position he passed did not have his own people and the opposing defender could quickly catch up. It's Li Youran, his speed is so fast. But saw Li leisurely catch up from behind, gradually closed the distance with the red team defender. The football fell on the red team penalty area at an angle of about 45 degrees. Li leisurely increased the speed but also controlled the speed to avoid offside almost at the same time, and the red team defender Xiang Jingguang equal. But Li Youran reacted faster, snatched the ball with his foot, controlled his feet, accelerated the dribbling around Wei Xiang Jingguang, and Sano Raiuichi also quickly rushed from the side, and there were still 4 or 5 steps to stop Li Youran. However, after Li leisurely broke through Wei Xiang Jingguang, he dribbled the ball and his left foot was heavy on the grass, his upper body was down and his big foot was raised. A fine light flashed in his eyes.